Oh yeah, let's get this everybody. Hey, welcome to the stream, everybody. Looks like we already got a few people in the chat here. Welcome to Eric and Adam. Of course, it's the Unplugged DIY solar live stream where we come to connect and learn. So remember, if you got any questions, just go ahead and put that in the chat and put a Q, and then we'll know what it is, or a question mark. Of course, that'll work. But we'll go ahead and let Eric and Adam say hello to everyone.
Hey, I guess I'll jump on in here. Eric from East Texas Homestead, and I do want to make sure that everyone knows we are streaming live on 3 different channels. Here, Rodney is kind of the master channel here, and then he's pushing it out to my channel over at easttexashomestead.com, and then East Texas Homestead on YouTube, and then also to Adam's channel, Adam Delay, and so we are taking taking questions from all of the chats, bringing it all together, and trying to put it into one place. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, y'all, for joining us, and I'll pass it on to Adam.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. Like they've said, my name's Adam DeLay. We're definitely trying something new tonight, putting all 3 channels live at the same time. We are trying to really brand this as kind of a learning place for DIY folks where we can all share our experiences, and not just the 3 of us, but you folks as well, because we can all learn something from each other. And so we're really looking forward to just chatting away with you guys and seeing where the night takes us.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna be trying to do this for an hour. I know we've been doing some long streams, 2 or 3 hours or whatever. We're gonna try to narrow this down to an hour. And if we get 5 super chats on all 3 channels, so 15 total, we'll extend out the live stream 30 minutes. So if people really want us to keep us on here and keep it going, you can give us some super chats, and that'll be like a little bonus for everybody. And we'll stay on a little bit longer. Still not trying to do 3 hours like we did the last time, or 2 hours and 40 minutes, because people do have families and lives and work to do. So this is fun, but we just can't do it all the time, of course. So let's go ahead and welcome everybody in the chat really quick. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody here. Richard, hey, what's going on? Jim, Eric, let's see, Silverado Blue, Retro Z Machine, let's see, Robert, John, and Doberton. Is that what that is? Let's see, Mike, Off-Grid Wannabe. I think that's everybody that I see, at least in the chat right now. If you want us to say hello to you, just go ahead and jump in the chat and put your name in there, say hello, and we'll go ahead and give you a little shout out. And if you got any questions, go ahead and hit that up as well. And if Eric or Adam got anything they want to talk about to start us off, hey, y'all just let me know. I don't think I've seen a question yet. Let's see here.
Well, yeah, I don't
see any direct questions here. What I was going to jump into is just say that tonight, because we're pushing to 3 channels and we're still dialing all the dials in, it's still a little buggy, a little bit of a weird delay. So we're working on it, trying to make sure that it's good, but we might talk over each other a couple of times just because that's where we're at on the technical side of it. But man, I'm so glad everybody's here. So I'm seeing over on my channel, I've got Robert and Austin Maddox from Austin's down in Troop, Texas, practically neighbors here. Pretty cool. Good to see you guys again. So many consistent faces back from last week, and I'm excited to do this. It's so much fun to hang out with y'all, and it's a good time. So that's it. Adam, sorry, I was talking over you. What were you saying?
Not a problem. Yeah, this will be a little interesting, just figuring out who's going to go next and talk. From our side, the delay could be somewhat like 10 seconds. So just bear with us. But my question to not just you, Eric and Rodney, but folks in the chat as well would be, how'd you all fare with the weather this last week, with the snow and the cold? Because I know a lot of the country ended up having a lot lower temperatures than they're used to having. And you might have some different experiences than you used to having with your off-grid power system.
Oh yeah, I know at least myself. It got down to about 15 degrees last night. We're definitely not used to that here, and of course, we survived. We got a little bit of snow the day before yesterday, and my son, who was during the middle of all that, was driving from Texas to Florida, so he was right in the middle of all of it. He said he was driving 25 most of the time, and they were closing roads as soon as he got through like I-10 and stuff. So he's still down in Florida right now. So hopefully we'll be able to get home tomorrow. So definitely a lot to deal with for truckers. So we definitely appreciate all the truckers out there. You never really think about it until you know somebody, I guess, as a trucker. And then I hear all the stories my son tells me. So we definitely appreciate it, because we wouldn't be able to get anything without truckers out there.
That's right.
And we definitely got a delay, because as soon as I stop talking, it takes him a minute to say anything. So I don't know what that's to deal with, but I got it on ultra low latency, so it's going to be super fast for what we're saying to go to YouTube. But I don't know, in between us, it seems like it may be a little bit slower. I'm not sure if that's on my end or their end, or just Ecamm, the program we're using. But I think we might have a few more people. We'll go ahead and welcome them to the stream. We got Austin from Texas. We got Blaine, got Jose. Let's see here. I got John. Let's see. Mark. Eric, I think we already said what's up to you. And I think that's it. And it looks like Jose says he's got an upper 50s here in South Florida, so he looks like he's doing all right there.
Yeah, man, it's been cold here in East Texas, but it's really not been bad. I mean, we've had really mild weather. Just it's been sunny the last few days. We had a couple cloudy days. We had this really strange. It wasn't snow and it wasn't sleet. It was like baby snowballs. And someone was telling me the name of it. It was like Drupal or something like that. If you know what I'm talking about there, put it in chat. But it was weird. It like hit like a snowball, but it looked like sleet. So that was kind of cool. And it was like about the amount of a good salted pretzel. But that was it. So outside of that, we just had dry, cold weather.
Adam's just used to all this.
I think
so
we got it. Grapple.
Yeah.
All right, looks like we got about 41 people. Yeah, go ahead. We definitely got a delay. Oh,
it's got to be 3 channels.
Oh yeah, we got fully electric in the house. We got Mike. Let's see, we got David Watson. I don't know if that was the same David as before. Welcome to the stream. Looks like we got about 40 or 41 people that I see right now, combined with all the channels in the stream. Of course, we put this out at the last minute, so everybody's not going to know about it. So if you can at least let us know in the comments if you actually got notified about the stream, or if you actually just came across it and found it, because that's definitely interesting for us as I guess YouTube creators, trying to get our subscribers notified when we're doing something. So, and it's just like Retro Z Machine's got a question. It says, do your setups, let me go ahead and add it to do your setups cope with short circuits and ground faults more? Maybe I missed something else, but I mean, if you have your stuff grounded, it should. And a lot of these have like the ground fault indications, and it's going to come up with an error and a fault for sure. So unless you're talking about something different. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'll let Adam jump in on that if he wants to. I mean, because he'd probably, I feel like Adam looks at the specs closer than the rest of us. But I do know I do know that there's some protection built in, a good deal of protection built into pretty much all of these units. Luckily, I've never had to deal with any of that.
Yeah, I haven't had any. Let's just call them an accident. To where I've had to use any of that protection. But yeah, a lot of the newer ones now, they're starting to be a requirement, especially from the US side, that they have these protections built in. I've never actually gone through and intentionally tried to test the functionality just because I don't want to have to replace something if I test it the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like we got quite a few people that's saying they weren't notified and they just kind of ran across us. So at least that's good. At least you guys are finding us. And I did say the last time I might stream today, and so then we just at the last minute all decided to jump on here and stream. And the reasoning behind that is we're going to try to make this a normal thing. We're going to try every Thursday, at least one of our channels will be streaming, even if one of us is busy or something like that. And there's only one of us or two of us. And whenever we can, of course, all three of us will get on here. That way, everybody knows, hey, at Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or whatever time zone you're in, what is it, 7 p.m. Central, we'll be on here at 8, 7, and you'll know where we're at. Let's see if we got any questions. Did y'all see any, or have I missed them? Here's one
I was
here.
just going to, not really a comment, but go for it.
It says, Don says, anyone on here use the F-150 Power Boost with the 7.2 kilowatt onboard power for backup charging? I have not.
No.
No.
I mean, it is a good option if you have a vehicle that has a built-in charger on it. That way you can turn your vehicle on and charge your solar back. That would be pretty cool there. Just one more option. And then Retro Z Machine, is this the same kind of follow-up question? It says, does the inverter shut down on a short circuit, or does a GFCI trip fast enough to avoid shutdown on ground faults? I've never had that problem, so I don't know. But I mean, the inverter will definitely try to shut itself down if it sees some kind of fault, especially a ground fault. And I've just never seen it. I don't want to see it because I don't want to give it a chance to mess up, of course. But if you're having that problem right now, hey, let us know what you found. Maybe you can help us all out. We can go check our stuff.
Yeah, I just want to welcome a couple more
First.
comments. Oh man, this lag so bad. Just a couple more comments over here on my side. I can see what y'all are doing over there, but I was just specifically over here. We've got Awesome God Diver and Regneck Tech 70 and Mr. Jacob. Hey guys. Awesome God Diver said that he really enjoyed my video on prep for the cold weather. Made him think about things that they might have forgotten. We put some of this stuff out just because it's like, hey, let's all start thinking about it. And I love getting in the comments and seeing people saying, oh yeah, don't forget to do this. It's like, oh gosh, yep, they got to go do that too. So thanks for piping in, and it's good to see all you guys on the channel here.
I'm pretty sure, I'm on the right one, I think now. I wonder if I turn my...
still looks pretty bad on my end, but
maybe I didn't. Maybe
hopefully it'll help.
On out here. Because let me see. Rodney's ground fault tripped. Oh my goodness! So they still can't see us. Hold on.
Last week Adam's battery fell out, so
all right.
I guess here we are.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what happened. It says I'm on my my fiber, but it's not saying it's on my... I got an Orbi back here behind me, and it's not saying I'm on that one. It looks like I'm on the one in the house because the bars are really small. So y'all might have to give me just a second. Y'all talk, and somebody says they see us, so y'all talk for a minute.
Yeah, so I'm definitely seeing that you guys are back in the chat. I haven't looked to see fully, but I mean, it looks good. I'm still seeing my view. So for y'all's information, like what the three of us see, we see a completely different stream that is coming through a web browser, just as part of the Ecamm Live setup. And so, I can just see that there's like a definite delay between what I say here and then when I see it come back on my end. Rodney's back. Did you fix it? Did you see any problems?
It's green like it's on, so I'm running a speed test right now just to see what it is. And the download looks pretty good, but we'll see what the upload says.
Don't touch
The quality
anything
is
fully
looking
electric.
so much better right now.
Oh,
Okay.
So it might be kind of catching up with everything now, I guess, because it looks like it should be good enough to me. So I don't know. It's
Good.
not as fast as it normally is for a fiber optic, but it should be fast enough. So all right, everybody, let's try it again.
Fully electric said, "Don't touch anything."
Yeah, don't touch anything. I know. Looking good. Adam looks blurry. Okay, that's normal.
What else is
Oh man. But I guess we'll have to check, because I thought I checked that earlier and I thought I put it on the right internet. That's what happens when you got more than one internet, I guess. So got to make sure I got on the right one.
Well, and whenever you decide to live stream 30 minutes before you actually live stream with three people to three different channels. So, I mean, there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think my signal should be stronger because this Orbeez right behind me. So that's, to me, is weird. Like it's connected to the Orbi on the inside of the house. But I don't want to do anything, like you said, to make it worse. Oh, man.
Okay. So I see a comment over here from Redneck Tech 70. You want to try to find that one and pull it up?
I got it up.
Here we go. Oh, man, the quality's so much better already. Yeah, so 6,000 XPs, unless that's a new one there, 6,009 XP. Two of them, EG4, and it disappeared, so I'm going to go try to find it. How do I ground on a schoolie or a bus install? So it's, man, I don't remember. I did know it once or at one point because I was looking into it, but I can't remember at this point. Did any of y'all have any advice on that one?
Never really did an RV or camper or anything, but I would think you just ground it to the chassis myself, but I don't know 100% because I have not done it.
Yeah, that's
that would be
gut
my
instinct.
assumption is you grounded the chassis.
And then, yeah. And then you would have your ground neutral bond inside the 6,000 XPs. I'm thinking. I don't know. I'm seeing Adam's thinking about that one.
Yeah.
But we are not giving actual advice here, just talking out loud.
Contact,
especially on those two topics.
Contact your Solar. They can probably give you a better answer than we can. Or man, what's that RV channel?
Either.
What's that RV channel that did a build with Signature Solar? They might have something on there. I don't know. I'm trying to remember changing something. Man, I can never remember people's names. But anyway, let's see if we got some more questions, or are y'all froze or am I froze? What's going on?
Somebody froze.
Something was.
Unless my fiber's having problems, but I think I'm on fiber now.
Yeah, the comments saying that we're starting to
The
freeze
hard
up
part
again as
with
well.
6,000 XP. The hard part with the 6,000 XP is it doesn't have a dynamic neutral ground bond where the inverter turns off the bond when it's using AC input versus battery power. So you're going to kind of be creating a problem anytime you connect to shore power because you're going to be plugging into a line that already has a ground neutral bond when you've created one in your environment. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting one that I'd have to stop and think a little bit more about how to properly configure that bond scenario.
All right, looks like we got another question in here. Go ahead, Eric.
I was just gonna say, so the official answer is we have no idea, or we're not going. We can't make official comment. If
Yeah.
the official stance is we have no official stance.
I'm trying to do something on this thing over here. All right, save. All right, I was trying to make it where we can see the comments easier, so I was trying to make it where to be bold when I pull it up. Of course, still working on all this live streaming stuff. You have to try to work on it every time we do it to make it better. And hopefully we're still coming through good. It says Rodney's Wi-Fi. Let's see here. Rodney's kids burning up the Wi-Fi. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
It looks like we got a question from Austin. I had always intended on using my little 2,000 watt generator to occasionally charge my batteries through my inverter, but recently learned the 18 kPV only accepts 240 volts as a generator input. Workarounds. You get a charge inverter and charge it. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. And honestly, you don't have to go for the charge inverter. You can just get one of the 1,000 watt ones. I mean, you've got a 2,000 watt generator. It'll run a little longer, or it'll take a little bit longer, but you can't utilize the charge inverter on that anyway. So I would get one of the official EG4 48 volt. Yeah, that one right there. I'm looking at mine. I just don't want to go walk and get it. Right there. So I'll drop a link to that as well. Let's see.
All right, let me see if I can find some more questions. Starting to freeze up again. Yep. Hopefully right now it's working, but I definitely think it has something to do with this internet changing on me. I don't know what happened with that. Craig says, I have 16 eco-worthy 48 volt 50 amp hour batteries and set up 4 series, then those 4 in parallel. What do I need to look at to add a 48 volt 100 amp hour battery to the system? Let me see here. Charge rate, discharge rate. Adam, Eric.
I'm sorry. I was looking up a link and wasn't paying attention to the question.
Basically, he has batteries that he's put in parallel and in series. The eco-worthy batteries. The what actually says 48 volt 50 amp. Hold on a minute. I thought he was talking about 12 volt.
Oh, it's still up.
Yeah, y'all can read that. It's 48 volt 50 amp hour, and he's tried to add the 100 amp hour batteries to it. I'm not sure about that. I don't know how you put it in series and parallel. Does he mean there's a 12 volt battery that he put in series? 2 48 volts?
That's what I'm assuming it is.
I'm not sure how to add those. That's all I can say about that. I don't know for sure.
I mean, can it be done? Yeah. You're probably going to have different charge and discharge rates, and you need to basically figure out which charge and discharge rates you can use for both sets of batteries. You have a higher potential of more maintenance needed when you put 4 12 volt batteries in series, because you need to make sure that your batteries are staying properly balanced. It's going to be a manual process that you got to keep an eye on for the most part, because the 48 volt, like server rack batteries, is going to do the balancing for you. But you have an easy chance of something getting out of balance when you put those 4 12 volts in series. But yeah, charge and discharge rates, it's going to be an open loop setup, because you're not going to have communication between everything. So it can be done.
All right, I'm looking at something with this setup real quick, so y'all talk for just a second here.
So one thing that's crazy is it looks like Signature Solar or EG4 has discontinued that battery charger we were just looking at. The only 48 volt charger that EG4 offers now is the charge inverter. So it'd give you something to grow into, but it's a shame they don't have that smaller one.
Probably because the charge inverter can be programmed for whatever amperage you need, and it can handle 120 volt or 240. So,
right. Adam, wasn't there some software updates that allowed you to actually charge on one leg a while back? Do you recall?
Yeah, the 6000 XP does. I don't know if they ever added that to the 18K PV.
Okay.
So the 6000 XP on the latest firmware version, and I honestly don't know if they've come out with anything even more recent because I haven't looked. But several months ago, they did allow you to have 120-volt input to either the generator port or the AC input connection. And you can charge from it, but you can only have 120 volts of output while
Right.
you're
Cripple the other leg
doing
on
it.
the output. Mhm.
Correct.
But it was a workaround for some people.
Oh, definitely. I mean, you could use
Yeah.
one of those power stations, a portable power station,
Mhm.
hook up to your charge inverter and have 120 volts to charge your batteries.
Mhm.
Looks like we got Elkwood Bears got a question. I'm new to ETX Homestead. Which channel is the go-to for the DIY solar, etc.? And really intrigued by Eric's recent video on a DIY while home UPS setup.
Yeah, so for those, I can talk about that for just a second. So I put out last week when we did this, I something came up and I mentioned that I'm still planning on getting my video out on how I charge for free at night or how I get free energy, and I'm running all of this without any solar panels or none really to speak of. And they were like, "Yeah, it's never coming," like because I've been saying it for 6 months. So I was just like, I'm just gonna do it. So it's not the greatest video in the world. Elkwood, thanks for Elkwood, yeah, thanks for bringing that up, and I'm glad you're here. Um, so I put out a video basically talking about how I use a free energy plan at night. So from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., I get free energy. It's kind of the whole like peak shaving thing that a lot of people do when they have like slightly less expensive at night. It's just in this case, it's absolutely free. It's really great. But then the second video that came out, I think it was second in that series this week, was about how this is basically a giant UPS. UPS being an uninterruptible power supply that my house is plugged into. So, as far as the grid is concerned, it's not interacting with the grid. It's just charging from the grid when it needs to, or passing power through the whole system into my house if that's the right time of day. But like you could almost picture it like just a giant plug just right in there into the grid. And then I run on the batteries until I either can't or I get free energy again. So yeah, I mean, it is a fascinating concept. You said you're intrigued by it. It's really cool if you can get a setup like that. I highly advise it for anyone who can. I'm like, lock in a 3-year contract with these guys so that by the time they figure out what's going on and tell you we're not renewing that way, your system is 95% paid for, and then it's all good from there. So as far as the question about like see what did you say, which channel is the go-to for DIY solar, etc. Man, I mean, we all put out a lot of stuff, but there are so many channels. I learned most of at least where I started from watching Will Prowse. He's definitely the biggest in the space, or at least that I'm aware of. But there's a lot of us. There's hundreds. So it's not like, and we try not to feel like we're competitors or anything. We're just we're all technically competitors, but we're friends, and we're like, dude, it's a big space. It's growing so fast.
There's room for everybody.
There's room for everybody.
right.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah. I'll stop my monologue there and see if anybody else wants to chime in.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Looks like right now we got 52 or 53 people on the stream, and Eric, you and Adam are both looking good to me right now, so I don't know if the stream is looking better for everybody. Hopefully everything is working good. If the audio is looking good, the video is looking good, let us know that in the chat just to keep us updated. Hey, we're always going to have technical difficulties, but eventually we're going to get this all lined out where we can do this every week and not have any problems, hopefully.
Sure.
And of course, looks like we might have a couple more questions in here. I think I missed them. Now I got to try to pull them up. If y'all see one, let me know and I'll try to pull it up. Hey Zeus, hey guys, I recently bought a 12,000 XP and I have 10 Aptos 440 watt bifacial panels. During peak sun hours, I'm seeing 3 to 350 volts and 13.5 to 14 amps on the clamp meter. Monitoring app shows 3,000 watts max. So it all just depends on if it's, the temperature and if it's directly at the sun. The stuff is not always going to be perfect. There are times where I can get what my panels are rated for, but it's under like perfect conditions really. So it's going to have to be cool. The sun's going to have to be facing directly at the panels. So I don't know what these guys' experience is with that, but most of the time you're not going to get the full rating of a panel most of the time that I've seen.
Yeah. So these guys definitely have a lot more experience with the solar panels than I do. As I just explained, I'm not really in a hurry to get mine out. And so I bought some really old junky ones that I think each were rated at 240 watts, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But if I get 100 out of each of them, it's good. But they are rather old. They still have the MC3 connectors on them. And but I got them for like $20 a piece or something. So, but it is crazy. Even just the temperature makes a massive difference. Airflow makes a big difference if you have them, up higher. I even like the couple of them that I have out during the summer. I like just like spraying them with the water hose and just you just look at their analytics and watch the voltage just spike. It's really cool. So I don't geek out on stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll end up seeing more output produced during the summertime when the sun's higher in the sky. You've got better angle for your panels. Wintertime, maybe half, and that depends on where you're located. You'll get those occasional days where the sun might hit it and you'll get a nice spike because the panels might be colder. Summertime would probably be the only time that you would ever see the potential for that full rated output. And the older the panels you have, your output it'll start degrading the older they get.
Yep. It looks like we got 78 people on the stream right now. And we're going to try to see if we get this thing over 100. I don't remember if I've seen over 100 before when we're doing a stream.
Nope.
But some of the people are on here saying, hey, good here. So the stream looks good. And Austin says stream is good now. So right now, looks like stuff may be looking better than it was. Let's see. We might have another question as well. What's everyone's thought on the Grid Boss? I have been hoping for something to control large loads, heat pump, dryer, hot water. I like the idea. I hope it pushes other companies to try for similar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say that all of those things that you mentioned, we all run on our 6,000 XPs, or what Adam's got behind him, and the 12,000 XP, the 18K PV. A lot of us, Rodney and I, have a lot more experience with the EG4 stuff. Adam is the expert, outside of the EG4 stuff. And he also knows an awful lot about the EG4 stuff as well. But as far as the Grid Boss, we talked about in the last stream, at the moment, none of us have wanted to shell out the money to buy one, and nobody's offering to give it to us. So we haven't tested them out yet. It seems like a really cool setup to me. I think it's great just to be. I think it's the best use case for me is being able to retrofit it into a house that's not as easily accessible to mess with, like what a lot of us have here. I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
Go ahead, Rodney. I'm rereading the question.
Oh, okay. I was waiting on you. I'm trying not to jump on top of people. I'm trying to let them answer. But yeah, I agree with that. I mean, to me, the easiest thing, of course, is if you're building a house and you can just throw it in there at the same time. That's gonna be the easiest thing. But if I had to upgrade and I didn't have anything, and I was trying to sell back to the grid and do interactive features, the Flex Boss and the Grid Boss would definitely be probably at the top of my list, just because of all the options that it's going to give you, all the different things it can do. I can't even name all the things it can do off the top of my head. I did a video on the stuff, but you forget some of the stuff. But it has all those smart load features and all that. And like you said, the 6000 XP does have that, but it's not going to be to the extent that the Grid Boss and the Flex Boss is going to have. So I definitely like it if you're trying to sell back to the grid. I'm just not a big fan of selling back to the grid at all, just because I think, usually in most situations that I've seen, if you're selling back, you're going to be getting like, 3 cents a kilowatt and you're paying 15 cents. So it makes more sense to buy batteries and store that energy than to give it basically for free to the electric company and then still pay it in for what you use. So to me, that doesn't make much sense.
And on top of that, even if you do get paid full price, which by the way, while I was shopping around plans, I did notice that TXU here is one of the the largest provider. They actually do give a 1-to-1 right now. At least it was advertised on their site as giving a 1-to-1 credit, which I haven't seen in a really long time. But it's at the end of the day, it's just a credit, and you don't get to put money back in your pocket. But it's a heck of a lot better than nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess I would ask. He said he likes the idea and hopes that it pushes other companies to try for something similar. Are you talking about just having the ability to control multiple large loads? So the 3 smart relays on the Grid Boss? Or are you talking about the fact that it's a full interconnection device between your inverters and the grid? There are a lot of inverters out there that have a smart load option. I mean, the 18K, the 6000 XP, the 12,000 XP, even the midnight inverters behind me. The Victron inverter has smart load option as well. It just, I guess I would need some more information on what the idea that you like is, and that you're hoping that other companies start doing as well.
And looks like we got another question here. Great content. Keep bringing in the content on different scenarios. Have any of you ever experienced a buzzing noise coming from the EG4 server rack batteries? I have not. Now that's weird there. A buzzing. I don't remember ever hearing a buzzing from any of my batteries. Not the server racks for sure.
No, I've not heard that.
There's definitely something not right if it's buzzing, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would call tech support, tell them what's going on, and I do that in a hurry. Also, running back a couple, at least it's a bit back on mine. Redneck Tech 70 was wondering if on his schoolie build, if we thought that 2 EG4, I guess the Gill batteries would be enough. Essentially looking at one big room bus, right? I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to do, and if you're trying to
heat and cool it, I don't think it is.
Yeah. Now, if you throw in, one of the, the small solar-based EG4 mini splits, that'll definitely allow you to throw out like a couple of panels and heat and cool a lot better. I've been really enjoying it. Rodney, I just saw Rodney just posted a couple videos the last couple of days on how well his mini split has been working in the really cold weather. Mine's been doing great too. Aside from just needing to defrost, a couple of times a day, which it does automatically, it's been doing really good. But I ended up throwing 6 old panels out there. It just got like, I guess, yeah, it's about 6 of them. I think I got 800 watts of solar coming in, and that just lightened what all these had to do. So it's been good. So I don't know if three's a great place to start, and you can always expand. That's what I would say. Or two of them is a good place to start, and you can always expand.
Yeah. Mike says, "Can I add a 3-year-old lithium with new lithium without damaging the new ones?" I mean, I don't know. It may pull that new one down because it might be topping off more than your older battery. So, you know, every time your inverter's kicking on when they're full, it's gonna be pulling down your other one, and eventually it's just gonna bring it down to what your other ones are. So it might degrade it a little faster, in my opinion. But I would add it. I don't think 3 years is that long for lithium myself. So I've did them about 2 years apart. I'm not saying it's the greatest thing in the world. You probably shouldn't do it, but that's just what I've done. So if it's 10 years, now that's a different story. I might not do it.
You can try it, see what happens. It's not like flooded lead acid in the same way. Those batteries, I mean, if you're 6 months apart, it seemed like it would make a big difference, but I don't know, maybe worth trying out.
I think that all three of us have probably even been kind of experimenting this way, because we've all started with the batteries that we had for our initial system. And then at least once a year, maybe we're adding something else on top of it, and we're constantly adding. So you might see, one battery doing a little bit more, but I don't think it's going to hurt from the lithium standpoint. I mean, somebody could correct us that actually knows more about the underlying chemistry of the batteries themselves, but
I think they're going to equalize over time regardless.
Yeah.
That's what I think. If it makes that one work a lot harder than the other ones for a month, and then it kind of equalizes, I just don't see it being a huge problem myself, because I've did it. And maybe that's a video I need to make. All those batteries I got in my building that have, some of them's a year and a half, maybe 2 years apart, I can't even remember. Go in there and kind of look at each individual battery with a computer and just show you the health of it and see if there looks like there's a difference. So that'd be a good video idea.
Yeah, that is.
Let's see here. Any other questions we missed? I'm gonna try to catch up here on the stream.
Redneck Tech 70 asked if we have experience with bifacial solar panels. I think, Rodney, you're the only one with that.
Yeah, I have some bifacials. Let me go ahead and add this question up here. Yeah, I got some bifacials. I like it in the right scenarios. So, I mean, they don't sell a lot of mono panels out. It seems like most of them are bifacials. And I put bifacials on my parents, and there's actually a roof under them. But my plan was not to do that. If I knew to begin with, I'd have just got mono panels. But I do think it helps bring in a little more power. And if you're making a ground mount, I mean, I just use bifacials regardless, because, like it snowed here, and then I could tell I was bringing in more power than normal for sure. I guess I have to make a video on it and go back and look at all the data. It's all saved. But I was like, man, that thing seems like it's pulling in a lot of power. And that it's just because of the snow, the reflection. It was super bright out there because my glasses turned into shades. I mean, they were super dark. When I walked back inside the house, I'm like, you could just tell it's way brighter with all that snow on the ground. So if you live somewhere that there's snow on the ground and it's not actually snowing on the panels every single day, and you can keep that snow on the ground for a couple of months, it's definitely going to help your system out. Adam, it'd be perfect for your situation, I think, but I don't think you have any bifacials. But I definitely like them. Does it bring in as much as they say? I don't think so, but it's not going to hurt for sure.
Yeah, if the back side of your panels is open and exposed, then yeah, bifacials would be fine on a ground mount. For a roof mount, I think it's a waste of money, because you're going to have it so close to those shingles. Any blockage that you have on the upper section of the panel is going to affect the underside as well. So I don't think there's any point. I wouldn't waste money for bifacials on a roof. I have not heard of anybody say that, oh yeah, I put bifacials on my roof and I'm getting, huge amount of output. In my current case, I've got ground mounts and I've got a fence right behind it. So it's all being blocked from behind. The ducks love hiding underneath it, but I don't get any light behind it. So the bifacials wouldn't buy me anything from that standpoint. Whenever I get a chance to put up a huge array out back, then I plan on putting them out there, though.
I'm over here working on stream stuff, trying to change stuff, just trying to see how something works a little different. Let me bring up another comment because I'm trying to change. So see if we can see I can't see that either. Good. I'm trying to change the color, but we're still working on this stuff. Farm Life says, regarding solar panels, I see decent deals online for grade B panels. What are the pros and cons of buying a pallet of grade B versus the better grade A panels? Is the cheaper, I'm gonna have to change the time on this thing too. Is the cheaper price worth it over time? I think Eric may have bought some used panels or B panels, so he might be able to address that.
Yeah, so I don't know on the rating side of things, grade A or B. Like I have no idea what I got. What I will say is that right now, panel prices have come down a ton since I bought mine. If I were to redo things, I would definitely not go this route. I would try to find the least expensive panel with the highest wattage per individual panel. Because for me, it's more about like, where do I put them? Now, I've got 10 acres here. Most of it's wooded, though. I don't have a lot of great places. And then the cost of the mounts, to me, is the greatest thing keeping me from actually putting up solar panels, which is why the ones that I have up are just leaning up against a fence. But if you guys know of a really super inexpensive way to mount just like 80 solar panels, let me know. But that's what I've got. So I would spend more on the higher quality panels and less on the ground mount, personally.
Yeah, and
8-0?
80, yeah.
Wow.
And I will also add in that my preferred method is getting the biggest panel you can get. Not if you can get a 300 watt panel, you got to use a lot more mounting hardware and stuff to get all that stuff mounted. And that stuff really adds up more than you think.
Oh my gosh.
Depending on what kind of racking system you're doing. I mean, it could be $20 a panel or 40, just depending on what you're doing. So it can get ridiculous. So if you can find a 650 watt panel and you can get it shipped to your house or a business and pick it up, to me, you'd be better off using big panels. So that's just my opinion.
That's where I'm saying, like, having 80, grade B, to use your terminology, panels, or maybe grade C, who knows, when you're paying $20, $30, $40 a panel to, in hardware, I would rather just have fewer panels and fewer hardware.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, you got to look at the math of everything, installation included. And don't forget shipping, because the shipping is where you really get taken.
I'm trying to work on something right here.
I like that black line. That looks good.
Left.
Okay, let me try this again. Oh my goodness, where's the comment? Hold on. Okay. I'm working on this, people. I'm working on it.
There we go. That's good.
Out. All right.
Where did I go?
All right. Can we see that a little better? All right. Let me pull the comment back up.
Hey,
actually read it.
Before we go there, real quick, I just want to say we're trying to hold ourselves to the commitment to get back to our families in 8 minutes. So if y'all want us to extend this 30 minutes, we've got a goal on each of our channels. This is kind of a shameless plug. It could be a cheap one, but we need 5 super chats on all 3 of these channels in order for us to extend 30 minutes. Otherwise, we're hanging it up in 8 minutes. Sorry, guys.
And we got 71 people on the stream. So, hey, get a few of you guys, go ahead and hit us up with those super chats, and we'll stay on another 30 minutes. Because we're going to try to, like we said before, we're going to try to do this every single week. It'll be one of us. So you guys know every Thursday, one of our channels, go ahead and subscribe to all of us, and you'll be able to jump on that stream, and you can know every Thursday it's going to be here. And we'll try to get some of these other questions quickly knocked out if we're not able to get those super chats. So let's go ahead and bring up Robert's question here. Oh, actually, he says buzzing sound. Y'all, I'd get that thing outside quick. So he's talking about that battery buzzing. Indeed,
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I saw the question mark thinking it was a question. Let's see here. Robert says, what type of fire extinguisher would be recommended in case of a lithium battery fire? I just have.
Yeah. Class ABC. I think that's what it is. Lithium. So, I mean, assuming you're talking about lithium iron phosphate, then they don't have the thermal runaway that some of the other lithium chemistries have. From what I understand, just a standard dry chemical fire extinguisher. What you got there?
Yeah, I got a commercial ABC dry extinguisher.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this in all my buildings that I have solar in at the door, just in case anything ever did happen. I mean, I don't think it will, but I'm more worried about the inverters. You know, something shorting out or something in those.
Yep.
Not that I'm worried about it, but you know, the batteries are the least of my concern. I've seen more batteries. I mean, more inverters catch on fire on YouTube videos than the batteries. So that's what I'll be worried about.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Austin.
I got time for a couple more.
Says, I want to add more solar panels, but apparently mine have been discontinued. I was told not to mix panels. How can I add more? What do I need to look for? I mean, as long as it's a different string, you know, to me, I use different panels. So as long as it's on a different MPPT, I don't think it's going to be a problem. But I'll let Eric and Adam tell us what they think.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, like I said, I'm not the solar panel expert by any stretch of the imagination. What I understand happens is essentially you end up clipping off. You go to the least, the least efficient panel on the string, if I'm not mistaken. This is you're gonna have to do this on your own. Look it up, correct me or whatever. So I think you're just losing efficiency. If you've got multiple inverters, each of these have two different strings on them. You know, you just go to a different string, like Rodney was saying, or do the math to figure out how to get them all to work together, which is possible, but more difficult. Off to you, Adam.
So from the panel standpoint, what happens is the panel that has the lowest voltage will end up being applied across the board. So if you have a panel that's 250 volts and a panel that's 150 volts, when you put them in series together, it's going to end up looking like two 150 volt panels. So you're going to be losing capacity. Now, if you put those in completely separate MPPT connections, so your inverter's got 3 MPPTs and you've got the 250 volt panels on MPPT 1, you can put the 150 volt panels on MPP 2 and it's completely fine because they're isolated. You could also look at getting a separate charge controller just for the old panels if you want to, so that you can try to find a new supply of panels in stock and run those directly into your inverter.
And, you know, I'm still pretty far back on the chat, and I'm still working on this chat. I changed it to a different color. Does that look any better? Y'all let me know. Roof of bus is white and curved. That'll help. So I guess Redneck's talking about his schoolie build with the bifacials. I'm guessing that's what he's talking about. I mean, it definitely could help, but like we said, if you're mounting it right on something, you're probably better off getting mono. But a lot of times, all the stuff I'm seeing now, most of the panels are bifacials, so it seems pretty hard to get mono panels compared to 2 years ago. Somebody, Retro Z Machine, says, what would you do with 80 panels? That's a lot of power. I don't know who they were talking to, but...
Yeah, that was me,
Eric.
most likely. Yeah. So what would I do with them? I mean, they're 80, but they're all really old panels, and so it would be on paper. I think what I was hoping for was somewhere around 15 kilowatts coming in at any given point. But in reality, it's probably going to be closer to 10 or 11. And so I would use every drop of it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
All right, and we only got about 2 minutes remaining, so if you got any questions, I guess go ahead and try to throw it in there. We probably won't get to it because there's not enough time. But we got somebody got a super chat. Who was that?
Yeah,
One of you guys?
Doug Burton Exile sent me one.
Bam! Hey, we appreciate the super chat. Definitely appreciate that. I mean, that shows you how far behind I am because I think he sent out a while ago.
Nice.
And a $10 one too. Hey, you in the money?
Yep.
Let's see here. If y'all
Nice.
see a comment
Thanks,
that's when
guys.
we pull up right before we jump off of here, y'all let me know because there's several, I think, questions. All right, fully electric. Eric, the most I have mounted is 64 550-watt panels on my extended 78-foot pergola. Family used the cover for so many things, so technically that's a ground mount. No.
Yeah,
Man, that's a lot of panels there.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, that's actually what I'm working on doing. Maybe next time I'll share my my plans for my back porch. I'm gonna do a covered back porch. It's gonna be 16 by 60, and I'm gonna use those panels all the way across the top. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, I mean that's a beast of an array there. Nice job on that.
All right, we still got 61 people on the stream, and we want to say, hey, thank you to everybody that's been joining us on these live streams. It's definitely been fun, but we're getting ready to shut this thing down here at 9 o'clock because, people got family stuff to do. We're going to try to shorten these up, but do them every week for 1 hour. So just remember, go subscribe to all of our channels. I can't remember if I have the channels, the links. Actually, I got some affiliate links. I'm going to go ahead and post up there. I just posted Adam's affiliate link to Current Connected and Eric's to Signature Solar. So if you guys want to make a purchase from any of those companies, use their links and they're going to get a small commission from that. And of course, they're definitely going to appreciate that. But just remember, every Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, one of us is going to be trying to do this unplugged stream. And I'll go ahead and let Eric and Adam get a word in here at the end. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, Rodney, thanks for hosting again, man. I appreciate your fiber. Once you got on it, that was great. Yeah, and
it looks a lot better now.
Who showed up. It does. It's still a little laggy on my end, but I think that's me. But I appreciate everybody who jumped on. Man, it's so good to see all of you guys. Even if it's just your name and your icon that we know you by. But so it's a lot of fun. Great community, and thanks for bringing. Sorry if we missed any questions. Bring them next week, and we are all. I think all of us for sure will be here this next week, Lord willing. And check out, like Rodney said, Adam DeLay, Rodney Hunt, East Texas Homestead, and looking forward to seeing y'all next week.
Yeah, I'll second and third what these guys have said. Thanks for joining us. We are trying to do this once a week. Next week, Eric's on deck, so keep an eye out on his channel. That's where we'll have
somebody else going to have a button
next week. Yeah, somebody else gets to mess with it, and Rodney's the only one that's got the fiber to be able to stream to all of our channels at the same time. So we're all still learning, we're all still playing, but hey, we're gonna have some fun with it. And thanks for coming along with us. We're trying to learn from you guys and share what we have learned at the same time, because we all want to go unplugged. We all want to, be a little more self-reliant. So thanks for joining us.
Hey, and like these guys said, thanks to everybody that's been in the stream. Thanks for the community. We definitely enjoy it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Bye.